There's a moment where you realize something isn't wrong, but it isn't right either. Nothing dramatic has happened. No clear ending. No obvious rejection. And yet, something feels unresolved. They show interest. They reach out. They respond. But nothing ever moves. And what makes it harder is that you can feel there is something there, just not enough to change anything. If you've ever found yourself thinking, if they like me, why am I always waiting? This is for you. This experience is far more common than people admit, especially in midlife, where connections often look different on the surface, more casual, less defined, slower to form. There's less urgency, more history, more caution. So, when someone stays present without stepping forward, you don't immediately assume the worst. You pause. You observe. You give it time. And quietly, without meaning to, you begin adjusting yourself to the uncertainty. Here's the part that's rarely said out loud. Being liked feels good. Being chosen feels grounding. When you're given one without the other, your nervous system doesn't relax. It stays alert. Hope rises and falls. You replay conversations. You read into tone. You look for signs that something might finally shift. And none of this means you're insecure. It means you're human. And your body is responding to a lack of clarity. You're not imagining the ambiguity. And you're not too sensitive for noticing it. Your body feels the absence of direction long before your mind can explain it. That's because clarity is not just emotional, it's physiological. When something is stable, the body settles. When something is unresolved, the body stays awake. Here's something that brings relief when you hear it clearly. Liking someone is passive. Choosing someone is active. Liking doesn't require risk. Choosing does. Someone can enjoy you deeply, your presence, your humor, your attention, your warmth, and still never move toward you. Not because you lack value, but because choosing requires emotional availability, timing, and intention. And not everyone has all three. Some people like connection without responsibility. Some like closeness without direction. Some like the comfort of knowing someone is there without the weight of showing up fully. And that can feel personal, even when it isn't. This is often where women quietly turn the spotlight inward. Did I misread it? Did I expect too much? Should I have been clearer? Was I too available, too distant, too patient? But here's the truth that usually gets buried. You didn't misunderstand. You noticed something that never resolved. And unresolved dynamics keep people mentally present while remaining emotionally distant. That's not a mistake you made. It's a pattern you're responding to. And patterns are felt, not reasoned away. Waiting is rarely neutral. It doesn't just pass time. It quietly reshapes you. It drains energy slowly. It keeps you alert instead of relaxed. It makes you manage hope instead of feeling safe. You find yourself pacing your expectations, lowering them, reframing them, telling yourself you're being patient when what you're actually doing is tolerating uncertainty. And the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes to step away, not because of love, but because of time invested. There's a subtle grief that forms around what almost was. Not because it existed, but because it hovered. That's why this dynamic feels heavier the longer you stay inside it. Here's a steadier way to look at it. If someone enjoys your presence but never aligns their actions with it, they are communicating something, without words. Not about your worth, but about their capacity. Clarity isn't something you extract by waiting longer, being more understanding, or explaining yourself better. Clarity is something you observe over time. Consistency reveals it. So does hesitation. So does staying exactly where things are. You don't need to confront. You don't need to chase. You don't need to justify your need for clarity or prove your value by being patient. You simply need to notice when something stays half-formed. Because half-formed connections ask you to stay emotionally available without offering emotional safety. And that is not a small cost. Awareness doesn't mean walking away immediately. It means you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop explaining inconsistency away. You stop mistaking presence for intention. That awareness isn't loss, it's self-respect. It's the moment you stop abandoning your own signals to accommodate someone else's uncertainty. When someone likes you but never chooses you, the signal isn't confusing. It's simply quiet. And learning to listen to quiet signals changes how you move forward, not with urgency, not with bitterness, but with calm clarity. If this resonates, you're welcome.